Hey there folks, Gabriel Shahin, Certified Financial Planner and President of Falcon Wealth Planning. Today I was going to talk about more Social Security strategies, and this one in particular is for a widow. Widows, now the way it works is you have to be married at least 9 months, so you can't go killing your spouse on the honeymoon, okay? Maybe that's a bad joke, but the reality is we're going to continue to use with Jim and Jane. If they each were a working couple making $2,000 a month and one of them were to pass, there's two ways to understand this. One is before you start collecting Social Security, and one is after. If you are doing this later on in life, after you've taken Social Security, let's say Jim and Jane are both 80 years old. Let's say Jane was making $3,000 a month in Social Security and Jim was making $2,000 a month in Social Security. If one of them died, the surviving spouse gets the higher of the two. So in this case, if Jim was making more or Jane was making more and Jim passed away, well then now Jim gets a raise of $1,000 a month. But unfortunately, if Jim passes away, because Jane was getting more, she just continues to collect her $3,000, while Jim's $2,000 pretty much goes away. So they do get less income. So that's important to know. On after you take Social Security, the remaining higher amount goes to the surviving spouse. But let's just say you're younger. If you are younger and not yet taken Social Security, you're allowed to take Social Security, in this example, they're each getting $2,000 a month, as early as age 60 years old. Now there are income limitations if you're still working into 60, but if you take your surviving spouses at 60 years old, you will get roughly 70% of it, $1,400 a month at 60 years old. Yours would still be allowed to grow. So you can collect that from 60 to 69 years old, that $1,400 a month, and your Social Security continues to grow at an 8% rate. And then at 70 years old, you could take that raised amount at $2,700 a month. This is huge, guys. This is something that is very important that a lot of people don't get to take advantage of. And if you also have kids at home under the age of 18, then you're allowed to also get a dollar amount per child. Okay, this is even if you're 40 years old, 30 years old, 50 years old, they're under the age of 18, where you can collect roughly, in this example, $1,400 a month or whatever the percentage is of what your surviving spouse gets off the deceased spouse. So you're able to get that. If you have multiple child, you can get 2. If you have 3 child, they do have a cap on it, roughly about 3 or so, because if you have 10 kids, the government's not going to give you $14,000 a month. So this could be, yet again, very helpful for you. Please be aware of the Social Security rules and techniques. Take advantage of those. If there's any questions you have, please reach out below.